Welcome to the Lifestyle First podcast, discussing lifestyle medicine and making self-care as easy as 1, 2, 3. 1 question, 2 research reviews, and 3 actionable health tips, all centered around the Lifestyle First method, your blueprint for the 10 key routes of optimal health and happiness. And now your host, lifestyle medicine physician and coach, Dr. Alka Patel.
Hello and welcome. This is Series 3, Episode 11, our bonus episode. And today I'm asking, how do you look back to propel yourself forward? Now, looking back can spark motivation, but often we look back and then we live in the past, focused on all the could-haves, should-haves, and if-onlys of life. But there's a different way of looking back by recapping on what you've done, not what you've got left to do, not diminishing what you're already doing by focusing solely on what else you still want to do. So today, I simply want us to recap on this season's podcast together. Look back at what we've shared. And as you're looking back, focus on the actions you've taken. This podcast is all about taking us from knowing to doing. Knowledge can leave you stagnated unless you fire it up with the dynamism of action. So look back. What actions have you taken that you've enjoyed and feel really good about? Then pause and think about what skills or capabilities you possess that made those actions possible. Feel good about your capability. And then think wide. How can your skills be of value to others? So let's look back. Episode 1 this season. What are the physical health benefits to having purpose? This was a conversation with Dr. Sultana Ahmed about how a purpose-driven life lasts longer and means you're less likely to die from heart or circulatory disease. So how do you find purpose? Well, number 1, keep a journal. What activities have made you happy? Explore and expand these. Number 2, seek out new activities. This increases your exposure to all those offerings of life. See where that takes you. Have an open mind and get that bit of stretch out of your comfort bubble. And number 3, coaching. Find a professional to help you realize your purpose. Episode 2, how does my identity affect my motivation to create the lifestyle I really want? A conversation with Dr. Sue Smith, who introduced us to a lovely new word, doability. Make sure what you want to do is doable and build self-efficacy and self-belief and self-confidence to create that motivation to change. And 3 suggested actions here were: 1, decide what change you want now and why this is important. Write this down. Number 2, create the structure for how you'll do what you want to do and clap yourself on. And number 3, surround yourself with positive reinforcement. Get into a positive state. Be aware of emotions and keep in mind this wonderful quote from Muhammad Ali. If my mind can conceive it and my heart can believe it, I can achieve it. Episode 3. How can our food choices influence inflammation, and is it possible to use food to put autoimmune conditions in remission? This was a conversation with Dr. Sarah Davies about how sugar, oxidized fats and processed foods are linked to inflammation, and how if we find trigger foods and remove them, autoantibodies stop being produced. She gave us an introduction to structured elimination diets and a graded food challenge to identifying your food triggers without needing testing. So action 1, don't be afraid to try these interventions. Elimination diets can be very effective for gut issues and inflammatory conditions such as psoriasis and arthritis. So start by removing gluten, dairy, soy, nuts, legumes, sugar and processed foods. And focus on adding in and enjoying those nutrient-dense fresh fruits and colourful vegetables into your food choices. Action 2, try to get it right the first time. Plan well. Give yourself an 8-week stretch for focus. And action 3, supplementation if needed in those first few weeks as you get used to how to eat, and be aware of side effects of those first couple of weeks as well. Dietary changes, bowel changes, mood changes, fatigue. And then we had episode 4, how can you exercise your way out of pain? And this was with Dr. Alex Maxwell, explaining how exercise for joint pain is safe and effective. And damage is unlikely unless you do more than you are capable of. So think about your tissue tolerance and allow your tissues to adapt to this. Aim not to go beyond 2 out of 5 for pain when exercising so that your capacity increases and normal life is not painful. And Dr. Maxwell gave us 3 great actions. Number 1, enjoy exercise. Do what you love. Look back to when you were a kid and think of exercise simply as movement. Number 2, a little something is better than nothing. Nothing wrong with doing a little. So start with even 1 minute of movement. And 3, keep going. Change takes time. Consistency is key. So start, enjoy, keep going. Episode 5 was how does sleep affect my weight? A conversation with Dr. Sue Keneally on how sleep links to appetite, hunger, cravings, lean mass and body fat. Remember, you snooze, you lose. And sleep deprivation, we know, links with weight gain. So look hard at ways to improve your sleep. And 3 sleep actions she gave us were 1, set a regular sleep schedule. Fix a bedtime and wake up time every day for hormone regulation. 2, exercise. Being tired is, of course, good for sleeping. And 3, establish a wind-down routine. Episode 6, can gratitude help you thrive? A conversation with Dr. Emma Thurston about building awareness and drawing attention to the positive parts of our lives. And her 3 gratitude actions were, firstly, think about 3 things you're grateful for each day. Write them down. Secondly, play the gratitude game with your family or friends. Talk about, what have I done to make someone happy? What has someone done to make me happy? And what have I learned today? And thirdly, say thank you to someone who has offered you kindness today. Episode 7. How do family connections have positive impact? This was with Dr. Sonal Shah. Now, family is the first thing we know when we come into the world. And we talked about belonging and being valued and connected and grounded in the world, and how intergenerational connections can combat loneliness. So, number 1, nurture your connections. Just pick up the phone and find out about your family. What don't you know that you'd love to know? Number 2, look for opportunities for connection. Take it slow. Find groups you can network in, even online. And 3, practice gratitude. Write a letter to someone in your life that you really cherish. Episode 8, what if we could be 1% happier, 1% healthier and perform better every day? And this was with Dr. Nilesh Satguru, who introduced us to the 5 levels of transformation. Behaviour, the what. Environment, the when and where. Capability, the how. Beliefs and values, the why. And identity, the who. So, who, why, how, when, and where. And to change identity, who you want to become, and prove it to yourself every day. Your health depends on your daily habits. So 1, immerse yourself in who you want to become. 2, think in detail about your environment. And 3, celebrate your small wins to wire in those habits. Episode 9, can emotional well-being heal chronic disease, with Indra Panditarajan, talking about developing the capacity in your mind and body to recover from stressful situations and enhancing our ability to deal with infection and long-term illness. And she said, number 1, you have the answers. Number 2, be curious about what your body is telling you. And number 3, take time out to sit and stare. And finally, episode 10, how can you create a success mindset with Dr. Vidya, talking about perception and imagination and the utility of your mental faculties and universal laws in influencing your inner and your outer self-images. So 1, write down your definition of success. 2, write down 10 things you're grateful for. And 3, write down your life movie script. So, by looking back, are you able to propel yourself forward? What actions have you taken? What are you smiling about? What have you noticed about yourself? And how are your capabilities of value to others? This really has been a great season, definitely kept smiling, and I'm so grateful that I've been able to bring to you other guests and everything they've had to share with you. So now, a break for a few weeks, and I'll be back with season 4 on the 4th of October. Keep healthy, keep happy.
Thanks for joining us on the Lifestyle First podcast, making self-care as easy as 1, 2, 3. Don't forget to subscribe and share, and we'd love it if you'd be kind enough to leave a review. To learn more or to arrange a consultation, please visit www.dralkapatel.com. See you next time.